Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Coffee with the Masons. We actually have coffee
Dollar
today.
Tree Instant.
Yeah,
Woo!
I love it.
So
now you may hear a lot of noise in the video. We have the goose. We moved the fence today, and well, I actually moved it yesterday, but we've got them a little closer to the house, so they get unruly and loud when they see her.
when they hear
their
us
mother.
talk, they want to talk as well.
What are we talking about today, honey?
I wanted something lighthearted, but honestly, I have a serious topic.
Drop it on us. Does it involve recovery?
Why, yes, it does.
Hmm.
That's our niche.
Our niche?
We have a niche.
A niche.
Yay!
I used to have a niece.
And a geriatric cat.
Hey, look. It's the geese. They're saying, hey, Mom, we're hungry, Mom.
Okay, so are you doing the evening chicken run? I have to go get children.
You have to go get children. I'll do the chicken run. Who's doing the grilled cheeses?
I'm having leftovers for dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But they're not going to have leftovers.
They got cereal.
Okay.
Okay.
I love those
So, warning signs. I'm getting this from a website called Very Well Mind because someone threw out his homework.
That was 2 weeks ago.
I was supposed to read this list of behaviors to watch for so that he wouldn't relapse.
Yeah, it's part of a relapse prevention plan. ARPP. What we got? What are the signs?
Oh, hang on.
Because I can already tell you some of them.
Change in attitude.
Change in attitude. That's probably the most prevalent. There's also depression.
Actually, there was something here. There's something here. I'm sorry, I'm not super prepared. A relapse, sometimes called a slip, doesn't begin when you pick up a drink or a drug. It is a slow process that begins long before you actually use. That was what we experienced with you.
I think I wrote you a letter one time explaining that.
You mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think he used all the time. It was incredibly sporadic.
It was mostly at work.
It was mostly at work. It was sporadic. I think he went a few months here and there where he tried to quit on his own and then took it back up opportunistically.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to take that first step away from it when you go into work and it's there. You're surrounded by it.
He also is an opportunistic addict. If the opportunity is available and he's already on that slippery slope, he took advantage here and there. There were other behaviors besides a substance, other addictions besides virtual addictions, shall we say. That I didn't see. I was a happy little clown until it all fell apart a year ago. All right, so we have a change in attitude. For some reason, the elevated stress.
I would say yes. Whether it be home or work, elevated stress will make you cave in a heartbeat.
It also says here, returning to the real world after a stint in residential treatment. You're at your residence.
This is the real world.
Be careful if you begin to have mood swings, exaggerated positive or negative feelings. Which
is part of your thought changing, your thought stopping that I'm going to. Remember the urge surfing I explained to you yesterday?
Yes.
Yes. It all ties into that. So recovery is not just stop at using. Recovery is a mindset. Recovery is a mindset to stay not only sober, but clean.
Reactivation of denial. It's not denial that you have the problem. It's the denial that the stress is getting to you.
Yeah. I could see that because, I thought I was one tough son of a gun. I can handle this. I'm a big man, broad shoulders. I'm a big teddy bear.
At some point in this article, it also mentions not just a big major life change, but also, the stress of all the little things building up. Either one can be a trigger.
Yeah, this is true.
It says here recurrence of withdrawal symptoms like anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, memory loss can continue long after you quit substances, also known as post-acute withdrawal symptoms. These are dangerous because you may be tempted to self-medicate to control them.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, even years after you're done, even if you're knee deep into recovery, that's always a possibility. But the sleeplessness, it comes and goes. Sometimes it could be you waking me up. Once you wake me up, I'm awake. Sometimes it could be my back. Sometimes you never know where your mind's at. Just might be having a bad night.
You had a bad day the other day. How did you handle it?
Oh, you talking about here?
Yeah, you said you smoked a lot.
I
Yeah, everything.
smoked some cigarettes, and I hung out in the air conditioning all day. My goodness, man, that was a brew. Every time I touched something, it turned to poop.
There are days like that.
So I just quit touching things, and I went in and gamed. Look at
Behavioral changes.
Behavioral changes are more. Those are more obvious because behavioral changes are. If you're honest with yourself, you'll tell people before they realize them. But more often than not, addicts aren't that honest with themselves when behavior starts happening.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
He was really good at hiding his behaviors and his gradual collapse of being functional was gradual. It was really gradual. So we'd have fight, some period of calm, fight, period of calm. I'd see signs. He'd argue them. He's very, very good at hiding.
Well, let me tell you why that is. Early on in life, I realized I was good at knowing what people wanted to hear and knowing what people wanted to see. And it also turns out that I was pretty good at giving them what they thought they wanted, but only enough to where they wouldn't bother me and I could do whatever the heck I wanted to do. With this one, not so much. She's a lot of people are easy to read. My wife is not easy to read. I can tell when I can see it coming from 2 days off, that whether she's going to have a bad day by running with depression or whatever. But as far as anything else, reading her, she's like Braille. I can't read that. So she saw my buckets full of bull garbage long before I even tried to present them to her. So that helped.
Social breakdown. You did isolate. I would say that.
Isolation, yeah.
You became a lot more isolated the further along your disease
And
progressed.
I do stay isolated now, but it's because I prefer to be at home. I know that here there's no danger of using anything. There's no danger of even anything being in my house. And here, life goes according to what God has laid out for us, not what the world has for us. This is...
But besides me and the grandkids over a lot, you have... I mean, socially, you're in church several times a week with different groups of people.
Yeah.
You have your recovery meeting. You have your meeting at the office. I mean, you're out there doing things, and then we go and do something at least once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
I when I was retired, I hardly ever felt isolated. I didn't have a large circle of friends, but I liked it.
I tend to, for some reason, I don't know why, anytime I go somewhere, people want to talk to me, or I make them feel good by talking to them. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I guess I have that look that says, oh, look, he wants to talk. Let's talk to him.
You learned early on to be the life of the party. You like approval.
Yeah, that's in my DNA.
Loss of structure is a sign of relapse. You begin to completely abandon the daily routine or schedule that you developed in early sobriety. You may begin by sleeping late, ignoring personal hygiene, skipping meals. I think we're still struggling. Well, it was hard. He worked night shift, and I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
So if there were big changes, I mean, I'd see him roll into the house, roll into bed, roll out of bed. I'd say the thing that I think you were using at work, and then you come home and you wouldn't go to bed. That was probably a huge personal
That was
sign.
the biggest thing
He couldn't
was,
unwind.
and then when you would notice on the
I'd
weekends,
get
I
so
would sleep on the
mad.
weekends
Oh,
because I wasn't using
he would go to bed at noon and get up at 4, and then he'd
every
be a
day.
grumpy butt. So in hindsight, there were some clues that something was wrong, but I never really saw him. So I think sometimes you used on your way out the door.
Most of the times it would. Most of the times it would be after I left.
Okay. Loss of judgment.
You can ask people that I used to work with that.
Okay.
Loss of control.
Loss
Yes.
of control.
Yes.
Now that one I did not personally discover until the day he was arrested. I found the substance in his possession, called 911, and in the 45 minutes we're waiting for them to come pick him up, he finally admitted he was not in control. At that point, before that point, I thought, we'll get him out of the workplace, let him heal at home, we'll go to some meetings, we'll figure it out.
The reason being is not only am I a man and pride kicks in, stubborn, but I also had a lot of clean time too. And I kept telling myself, I can do this. I'm not going to let it take control over me.
He finally admitted the very day they came to pick him up, I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had told me that way back, anyways. Loss of options. You begin to limit your options. You stop attending all your counseling and treatments. You may feel loneliness, frustration, anger, resentment, tension, helpless, desperate.
I mean, that really wasn't the thing for me because my options were not limited at all. So
anyway, so those are some of the things that this article on Dr. Google will point to. Relapse. And don't I look fine in my glasses?
She looks like an old, mean principal.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
And
not old. Like
and then
that,
and then also as we're looking at the list, how it affected how whether or not we agree. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Just keep fighting. Keep fighting. There's people out there you can call, people out there you can talk to. There's a God you can pray to. There's a Bible you can read. All the answers are there. All the options are there. Take that first step. Once you take that first step, that is the most difficult step. It gets easier from there. That first step is the biggest step uphill you'll take. But after that, it's all downhill.
I have one story to add.
Go ahead.
I have to make it really quick. As he was in the back of the police car, I made him 2 promises. I would, 1, wait for him, and 2, put money on his books. And he wasn't able to call me for 2 days. The jail was so full of people that are fighting addiction that overcrowding, like for every 1 bed the jail had been made for, there were 3 people.
Yeah.
Or more.
First 3 weeks I was in there, they had 34 people in a
16-bed unit? 10-bed unit?
pod that was designed for 16 people.
Yeah, 2 to 1.
Yeah.
But anyways, he actually sat on a concrete floor in a holding cell next to the commode for 2 days and was not able to call me. And the first thing he did was this broken, did you believe, he said, did you mean what you said? And I said, yes. And by the grace of God, here we are. Still together.
I'm not going to cry.
Still working it out.
I'm not going to cry.
No, but
I may cry.
we're still working it out. And
you're an amazing woman.
I was obedient to God. God told me personally, wait on me. I'm going to do a work in him. Wait on me. So I don't know if YouTube is the work, or if there's more personal work. I don't know what's more personal, putting your stuff on Facebook, I'm not Facebook. Where are we? YouTube,
honey. YouTube.
Told you we have one good brain between the 2 of us. All right. We good? It's
Yeah,
about to
we're good.
rain.
We're good. Have a great night, everybody.
Give me a kiss. Go. Give
Um,
me sugars. Mwah. Have a good one.
Have a great night, everybody. God bless
Stay
you.
clean.
And if
Fight
you
the
feel
fight.
like hitting the subscribe button, hanging out with us, go ahead,
Share,
push the button,
subscribe.
leave a comment. We'll comment back, and
Woo-hoo. Yay!
hope it all goes well.
Bye.
Bye.